Hello guys, and welcome to CQC unit tier list for Steel Division 2. So we are done with the line infantry, and today we'll be ranking all the CQC units found in the infantry tab to a standard tier list. Once again, thanks goes to Lisek for gathering these up, and also once again these are not from the latest patch, but I'll try to make note if the price or the loadout has changed since then. I will of course be ranking the units based on their actual CQC capabilities, but I will also acknowledge if they can be used as hybrid infantry, or they have AT or something like that, because that is of course very valuable as well. These are based on my opinions and experiences, and let me know down in the comments where you disagree and what mistakes I have made. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. So firstly, we have the militians from the Paris Defense Division. These guys have, I think, only rifles, maybe one SMG, and then Molotovs. Only 10 points, but only 5 men as well. They come in tractions, so you can use them to rush into important positions, and sometimes that can be very annoying for your opponent. But their actual fighting capabilities are quite low. So yeah, so I C tier for me. I think this will lose to pretty much any of the upcoming CQC units. Of course, you can double team since the price is so low, but still. Then we have the Greek flamethrowers from second to New Zealand. These guys were changed to 30 points, and 4 men were added to the squad. So they have 4 grease guns, Lee Enfields, flamethrower, smoke grenade, and they are raider. For 30 points, it is quite chunky. So that's good. The grease gun is pretty bad SMG though. The raider does help. I haven't used them after the change, but I'd imagine they are maybe low A tier. Then we have the AB Assault Group. This is from ATF at least. These guys have 12 men, 5 Thompsons, some Garans, 1 BAR, and Willy Pete's Shock and Raider for 30 points. This is quite nice. You have a good wet curve as well, and it does have a lot of firepower in green forests, and it even can dish out at longer ranges. So yeah, it is quite nice. I really like this unit. So solid 8 here for this one. Then we have the Reitjäger MP44 from Harteneck. So these guys, MP44s and rifles and Molotovs. I think that's it. 12 men, 25 points, so it's pretty chunky. It is quite good. It's a bit of a mid-range unit, but it does surprising a lot of damage also in green forests. And you have a good wet curve with these guys as well. So yeah, very good unit. A must take in Harteneck, both cards, in my opinion. So yeah, A tier as well. Probably worse than the AB Assault Group though. Then we have the Saperzi. These guys are from Panzerna. TNT unit. These guys also have a Piat Yeah, I don't. Maybe they have a Bren as well. I'm unsure about that. But at least the TNT rifles, Piat, and a few SMGs. So yeah, it is a good TNT thrower, and the Piat helps quite a lot. B tier. Then we have Rona Pioneer from Korak. So this is a Pioneer unit, but it's 20 points. I think it maybe has like a DP instead of MG34. Bit unsure, but for 20 points, it's an upgrade. Because 20-point TNT units are way more cost efficient than the 25 points, even though it may not seem like it. Still, it's nothing special. Probably a C tier unit. I may be misremembering the loadout though. Then we have the Saperi rocks. These guys, double DP, one flamethrower, a few semi-autos, and few SMGs. 30 points. So this is very much a hybrid unit. Because of the double DP. It's excellent. For towns, it's so good because you can also fire with the DPs, and the enemy squads cannot get close range since you have the flamethrower, and it still has decent damage in woods as well. It's very flexible, and 30 points is a reasonable price for it. I quite like this unit. I think it's better than these guys. So yeah, solid to high A tier for now. Then we have the Pioneerid. This is from 7th Estonian, but this is the same as Saperi. We don't have Saperi here. So yeah, I know it has the different Pipisha, but it doesn't matter that much. So we treat this as a Saperi. Saperi are decent. The semi-autos make them pretty decent at mid-range as well, and also they put out more damage in the wood than regular pioneers. So yeah, I quite like Saperis. One of the reasons why Soviets are so solid in the woods. B tier, worse than the Saperisi though, since they have the Piat. Then we have the Sturmoviki rocks. These guys have double flamethrower and then 6 Pipishas, 30 points. This is one of the best double flamethrower units. It's very good. It puts out so much damage. Now, there are a few units here that will beat this, but not many. This is an S tier unit. It's pure CQC unit though, so you gotta keep that in mind when you are using it. That once you are out of the woods, you cannot do much at all. Then we have the Lähitorjunta. These guys carry one Suomi, or maybe two Suomis, then bolt actions, TNT, and Lahti AT rifle. For only 15 points, it's very good. The Lahti is the second best AT rifle in the game, or maybe third best if you include the GRB 39. But you can get surprisingly good kills with it. Yeah, as a CQC unit, it's a bit of a throwaway unit since it dies very easily to other CQC units. I think one TNT will finish the whole squad. So, yeah. But you take it mostly for the TNT and for the cheap price. Yeah, then the downside, of course, is that the Lahti is very matchup dependent. So, if the enemy doesn't have light armor, then the Lahti is kind of, well, not useless, but since you can still snipe transports, but way less useful. I'm gonna put it to B tier. Then we have Gorno Saperi, 6 men, 6 Pipishas and a TNT. Raider, 15 points only, and they come in a fast transport in Gorno Strelki. So yeah, it is good, good rushing unit. I think Gorno Strelki actually maybe doesn't have flamethrowers. Nah, maybe I'm misremembering, so I won't make that claim. But yeah, you can use it to rush positions, and this actually does a lot of damage compared to this guy. After a phase, they lose a bit of their value since I think there is better options in Gorno Strelki, but yeah. I'm gonna put it next to Lähitorjunta. Bit matchup dependent, which is better, but in general, I'd say the Gorno Saperi is better. Then we have the Desant Saperi. This guy is in 3rd VDD. 20 points, 8 men, Raider. It has flamethrower, few semi-autos, few pipishas. It's very uncommon to see this unit. Not because it's bad, but because 3rd VDD has so many different CQC options that you don't really see this. Since, if I remember correctly, it actually has 2 cards of the Sturmoviki rocks. So there's not that much reason to take this unit, in my opinion. But yeah, well, I could see it because it's way cheaper. But the double flamethrower is hard to pass. It is still an A-tier unit. Then we have the demolition group. This is at least in 101st, maybe ATF as well. These guys have a few SMGs and then M1 carbines, which is kind of like MP44 in this game. Also a TNT and a smoke. For 25 points, it's pretty good. Also Raider. So yeah, the smoke you can use very tactically to get closer to your enemy or escape, and the M1 carbines put out decent damage in green forests, but also in yellow cover you can do quite a lot of damage. So yeah, I quite like this unit. Probably better than the Breitjäger MP44. Yeah, and also I should say that pretty much any of these units can beat each other when you micro them well, but I'm not taking that to the account as much since it's very hard to micro the whole game, and if your unit can be used without heavy micro, I think it's a bonus. Then we have Partigiani from Dodi. These guys have Beretta SMGs, a few rifles, and double Breda, and Molotovs, and Raider. I like it a lot. I think it's probably the best CQC unit in Dodi. This is I wish Jääkäri was something similar to this actually, but yeah, it's excellent. It puts out very decent damage, and you can also do some work at longer ranges. So yeah, perhaps here in A tier this guy goes as well. Then we have the Stostrup Beretta from 26th Panzer. So 6 Berettas and Molotovs. Stostrups are used to rush positions, but this guy can actually fight very well as well. It's an excellent squad, a must take in 26th Panzer, in my opinion. So yeah, high B tier in my opinion. Then we have the Sapeurs Montagnard, another Dodi unit, 11 men. Now I have to think. What is this unit? I think it's a TNT unit, uh, and it has a bazooka, and it has, I think it has LMGs and rifles. So it is very much a hybrid unit. Also Raider trait for 35 points. But that is a lot. Even though I believe this guy has double BAR, and then the rifles, and then the TNT, and then the bazooka. So it kind of can do everything, but 35 points is very expensive for it. I don't personally use this unit in Dodi, but maybe somebody can tell me if this is actually very good. I think it's too expensive, which is why I'm gonna place it in B tier. Yeah. Then we have the Pioneri Assault Romanians. This is a double flamethrower unit with bunch of Berettas. So it's excellent. It's the best CQC unit found in Romanian decks. Yeah, double flamethrowers are excellent. There's not much else to say. Also, 10 men is great. So, yep, S tier. Also, both of these do have the shock, which is very important. Then we have the SS Fallschirm Stossjäger from Rossel. 8 men, TNT, and then I think it's just 8 MP40s. 20 points, shock, maybe Raider as well, or maybe it's Fanatical actually. Shock and Fanatical maybe. So yeah, it was good before. Now after the MP40 buff, it should be excellent. I haven't used them after the patch, but even before the patch, they were so super good. So yeah. Puts out a lot of damage, better than the AB Demolition Group. Yeah, A tier. Then we have the Kursanti. This guy we discussed also in the line infantry, but I decided to feature it here as well, since I guess it's more of a CQC unit. So it has 4 SMGs and then 9 rifles. Fanatical, 15 points only, but it's it's garbage. Yeah, there's no reason to use units like this in NOV. You have good CQC. That's not your issue. Don't take this unit. I value even this unit higher than this guy. I'm gonna put it to D tier for now. Then we have the Panzer Sturm Pioneer from the first SS. These guys have flamethrower, MG42, and MP44s. Does it actually maybe have double MG42? Can't remember. But anyway, it is kind of like a hybrid unit. And it is very useful in first SS. The main problem with this guy is that it only comes in B and C phase, and you could very much use this unit in A phase as well, where you only have the TNT units. But yeah, also it's forced in half track, so it will always be 30 points. It is still good. It's hard to rate this one since the CQC firepower is kinda meh, but then you have the flexibility of the machine gun and the MP44s. So yeah. B tier perhaps. Then we have the Pionieri from 4th Alpina. So yeah, this guy is probably the best or the second best CQC unit in the game. Like, there is no contest. The third place is far from the top 2. So this guy, 11 men Raider, I think it's something like 4 Berettas, and then rifles, then flamethrower, and a TNT for 30 points. So it's kind of When units are not micro, this guy defeats all the other units. Since the flamethrower will force the enemy to move, and you still usually get the TNT off. And it still has decent firepower otherwise also in green forests. So yeah, it's S tier. It's probably the best CQC unit in the game. Unluckily for the fourth Alpina, if the line infantry was actually good, then this guy would see way more play. But the line infantry sucks. So yeah. Stormtroopers from 3rd Canadian. So it's like a field engineers, but they have one more man, and instead of stents and rifles, these guys have stents and MP40s. The MP40 buff affected them as well then, and they do have shock. Not a super impressive unit still. Only 6 men, and yeah, it's only 15 points, but I'm not really fan of this guy. And the Gorno Saperi does still way more damage with the Pipishas. Yeah. See it here. Also, the Gornos have the Raider. Then we have the Sturmoviki. 7 Pipishas and a DT and TNT. Forced double wet. It is good, but the divisions which have this again have also the Sturmoviki rocks, and they have Avtomachiki, and they have Saperi, and often also Tango Desaniki maybe. So it gets left in the shadows a bit. It is still a good unit though. It does a lot of damage with the Pipishas. The DT is pretty much a downside actually, but requires more micro because of the DT. But yeah, actually, I'm not that big of a fan of this one. Well, let's put it to high beat here. Then we have the Guastatori from CIL. These guys, 3 Berettas, bunch of rifles, TNT, 25 points. This might be Raider. Can't remember. Probably not, since it doesn't show here. It's okay, but 25 points for this loadout is quite expensive. I rather take like well, Saperi is better than this one at least. I'm thinking maybe even regular Pioneer is maybe better than this one. 25 points is steep. C tier. I probably would rather have this than the Stormtroopers, but it's kind of close. Then we have the Großdeutschland Sturmpioneer, but this is just Sturmpioneers in general. Now 25 points since the MP40 buff. So it's the basic one found in so many German panzer divisions, and it's decent as like a standard unit. 6 men is a bit flimsy, so it won't fight very long, but it does do a lot of damage, can't deny that. I think this is like a true B tier unit. I myself maybe prefer the Saperi, since with micro you defeat the Stern Pioneer, and then you also have the mid-range firepower, and even the DP for long-range firepower. But they are very similar, and yeah, so B tier for both of them. Then we have Rosiori Assault. This guy is the Molotov one. 25 points, 12 men, just rifles and Berettas, and the Molotov. It's all right. but it's nothing like the Pionieri assault or even the Partigiani. So yeah, um, I'm often actually quite disappointed about the damage these guys do, but 12 men is chunky though, I cannot deny that. So yeah, maybe high B tier, but if these guys don't have the shock, then they may be actually below some of these units. But yeah, let's put it to the B tier. Then we have the Panzer Pioneer from the first SS, which I already talked about. So these are the ones you have to rely on in a phase. They are basically Panzer Grenadiers, but they have a TNT. So for 30 points, it is good as a line infantry, but you don't really want it to throw the TNT. Unless you micro it. So because if you lose this to something like the Descent Saperi, then that is kind of painful, or even just a regular Stone Pioneer. So it's very hard to rate this one. Yeah, I'm gonna put it to B tier. It is more of a line infantry unit. Then we have the Stostrup MP44. At least this is in maybe 14th infantry, maybe. So it's, and actually we also have the, no, this is different. So yeah, Molotovs and MP44s. Good for rushing, does a bit less damage in the woods than the regular Stostrup, but can also do surprisingly a lot of damage in sub 300 meters. So yeah, it's all right. But B tier. Then we have the Stostrup with Panzerfaust. This guy is in what is it called? Festung something. Dunkirk, I think. Maybe, yeah. So yeah, these guys, a Stostrup, 5 SMGs, and then they have Panzerfaust, and they have a TNT. So yeah, it's like what the field engineers would like to be, because they all have all SMGs, and also they have the Panzerfaust, though they can be pretty pesky to deal with. But of course, the CQC value is questionable. I do like it still, way more than the Stormtroopers. B tier. The Panzerfaust is actually quite useful. Then we have the Decima RDT from 715th. So these are the commando units. This guy has 6 Berettas and 2 Bredas. So all the weapons can fire in the Green Forest, and it also can do some damage at close range, long range. Not much, but some. It's pretty micro heavy, since you will lose to TNT units. But I like to use these units, and the commando is still very nice. So yeah, and the availability is great. Of course, they only arrive in B phase, but the availability is great, and the wet curve is, well, the wet curve is maybe not that great for double wet, but for single wet it is. So yeah, high B tier. Which one would I rather have? I think I would rather have the Decima than the Sturmoviki, because it's more flexible. Then we have the Soome Poisid from 122nd. The Estonian volunteers. These guys have flamer, Molotovs, Suomis, SVTs, and 1 automatic rifle. So they can put out pretty decent damage in the woods, and then do some tickling in the long range as well. But they don't have shock, which is kind of painful. They really need shock. uh, it has been kind of left behind, and 122nd it is so bad anyway. So I don't understand why this guy doesn't have the shock trait. Yeah, haven't used this guy in a while, so I cannot even really remember how much damage it does. Beat here, I would probably take it over the Stern Pioneer though. The Brazilian Engineers. TNT and only rifles. It sucks. I wish this was better. Task Force 45 has such a poor CQC, and this unit is kind of like. I mean, TNT is always TNT, but the rifles do absolutely nothing. So yeah, requires very heavy micro to get anything done, and even then, it's not that good. In terms of CQC units, it's D tier. Moti, this guy we also talked about in the last video. So double MG34 and TNT, and then rifles and maybe 2 SMGs. So it's a hybrid unit, and it's a good hybrid unit when fighting at long range. But in this tier list, I cannot rank it that highly. I'm gonna put it next to the Panzer Pioneers, I think. Yeah. Kadetten from Rossel. Fanatical unit, this has a bunch of MP40s and then the G for the EC43s. So yeah, but no LMG. It's better than the Kursanti, yes, but it's still pretty trash. Again, Rossel has such a good options that you don't need to take this. Then we have the Mot Arkashok. This is in the Panzerlos divisions. No, this is only in second Panzerlos. Probably. Maybe it's in the first as well. MG42, otherwise like a Pioneer. So yeah, very much a hybrid unit. It is quite good, but nothing special still. So yeah, for me worse than a Saperi, but not bad. Then we have the Paradis Assalto. This guy is the CIL one, but the same one is in a 4th Fallschirmjäger as well. Raider, 9 Berettas, and I think this guy has 80 grenade. 30 points is expensive, but I like these. Yeah, I think these are very fun to use. I think the SMG units are some of the most fun fun units to use in this game. I don't know why I like them so much, but yeah. But it is expensive. So comparing to these other CQC units, it's maybe not that good. B tier. Then we have the Ox and Bucks from 6th Airborne. Double Bren, TNT, few Lee Enfields and Stens, and they have the good Sten. Commando, 30 points. It's alright, but not as good as one might expect. And that is something that is, in general, the trend in 6th Airborne, that the CQC is actually not that great. Still, Commando is nice, of course. B tier. Then we have the Shekeli, disheartened Molotov throwing unit, 25 points. They have an automatic rifle and then rifles and maybe a few SMGs. It's very similar to the, what is it called? Hegivadash, but this guy is disheartened and it has worse SMGs. So there's no reason to play this guy. The Hegivadash is just straight up better. Yeah, you have better availability, but you don't need that many. These guys will surrender immediately in the forest. If this was 5 points cheaper, then maybe, and they probably should be. But yeah, uh, I think this is mainly for some kind of role play purposes where you want to use the military police. So yeah, um, garbage. Then we have the Rangers from second US. These guys got nerfed again. They are Commando Flamer, 6 men only though. So they have one flamethrower and then they have, I think it's few M1 Garants or maybe it's Carbines and then few Thompsons. Or maybe it's M3, maybe it's the Grease gun. But still, the availability is so bad now, you only get 3, which is actually kind of fair since the Stern Pioneers also get only 3. No, they get 4 at double wet. So yeah, I think it was an unnecessary nerf. Yeah, second US is strong, but this is not what I would have changed, in it. But it is what it is. You still play it, of course, but I think it's way worse now. Not bad still. Yeah. High B tier still, but the availability really hurts. Then we have the Pioneri. Only rifles, TNT, and an AT grenade. Again, in terms of CQC, it's garbage. You need so much micro, and you cannot do anything else than throw the TNT. Yeah, maybe if you are fighting or only other TNT units, then it's good because it's cheap. But I have tried using these in Ryhmä, but I don't think they are worth it. I think you need to look into some other options. D tier, better than the engineers, since you have the 18. Then we have the Rohan Markashok. This is a Stern Pioneer with different SMGs and one less guy. So it is worse. Only 20 points though, but still. Not my cup of tea. And I'm gonna say it already at this point that, as you can see, the differences between some of the units is very, very little. So keep that in mind. Pioneer MG26, Pioneer unit with MG26. Not much to explain, but it is cheaper and it's actually an upgrade since the MG26 can fire in the green forests. So yes, it's all right, but yeah, maybe better than the Saperi, but still be there. Gorno Auto. Auto cheeky, but they have radar. Not much else to say about this unit. But I like Avtos, but in terms of this list, yeah, it's nothing special. And I think this doesn't see much play in Gornos. Again, since you have plenty of CQC options. B tier. I do prefer this guy over the Stern Pioneers, though. Maybe over the Lähittorjunta as well. Then we have the Maro from Toulon. 12 Berettas, shock, nothing else. It's simple, but it works. The damage output is so good. It's a fantastic unit. I love using this unit. It's again, you need a lot of micro when you meet TNT units, but yeah. 12 SMGs with when they are Berettas put out so much damage. It's pretty crazy. This goes very high in my list. And it's also easy to use since you only have one type of weapon. So you will, when you fire, you will be firing at the right range. So there's nothing to worry about in terms of that. And you do get the shock. So yeah, very high A tier for me. Then we have the 60th iskuryhmä from 17th Divisiona. So these guys have 7 Suomis and 2 automatic rifles and a TNT, and they are fanatical. It's fantastic. Everything that I said about the Maros is pretty much true for this guy as well. Although, yeah, they have the automatic rifles, so sometimes you are in the wrong range. But the firepower is crazy. I think ignoring the flamethrowers and the TNT damage, I think this guy puts out the most damage out of any unit in Green Forest. It absolutely melts. The smaller squads, for example, the stormtroopers. Well, I don't know about the stormtroopers, but the field engineers, for example, they don't even have time to throw their grenade. Sometimes when this guy walks into them, because it does so much damage. But it is micro intensive, since even though you have the TNT, you are basically wasting the unit. If you meet an enemy TNT unit and you both throw it, since you would beat almost any other TNT unit if the TNT is not thrown. So yeah, it's a beast. It is S tier. Yeah. Then we have the regular Pioneer. This is the Großdeutschland one, but we don't have otherwise the regular Pioneer, so we treat this guy as the regular one. Standard Pioneer, I've talked about this, MG34 and grenade rifles, 2 SMGs. This is like the most standard CQC unit you can have. And it's alright, but you quite often need to use the fire position trick to make it work. So yeah, I think it's low B tier. Because in terms of CQC, it's about as standard as you can get. Then we have the Pioneer 15W. It's the same, but you have more availability and you are disheartened. But with the disheartened doesn't matter as much with the TNT units. So it's okay. Again, you need a lot of micro, but yeah. Because of the availability, I'm gonna place it higher. But nothing special again. Then we have the Pioneri Calari. TNT unit again, but they have double automatic rifle, and then they have few rifles, few SMGs. So yeah, it is good because both automatic rifles can fire in the forest as well. So it's quite flexible unit. yeah, it used to have like crazy availability, but that got nerfed, which is reasonable. But yeah, uh, I like this one better than the regular Stern Pioneer, but it's not nothing phenomenal. So yeah, B tier. Then we have the SS Gebirgs Pioneer. 15 men. They have one automatic rifle, bunch of rifles, few SMGs, and they throw the jerry can bomb. Now, the jerry can bomb it's a bit of a mixed bag. Uh, I think you get it off even against flame units without extra micro, but I also think that the damage output is not good enough to stop regular pioneers from getting their TNT off. So you get the flame bomb off first, but it doesn't last long enough, and you cannot kill them meanwhile. So the pioneers often get their TNT off as well. So that's just my experience with them. Maybe I'm missing something, but it feels like you have to move back and forth with it. It is still better than regular Pioneer, but since 50 men and this guy I think has Raider or something. So yeah, it is better, but it's a bit unreliable. Still pretty high B tier. Then we have the Partisani from 3rd Mechanized. Raider, 12 men, only 20 points, Molotovs, rifles, SMGs. It's quite strong for 20 points. And the MP40s got above. The PP Shah has been good SMG for quite long now. So yeah, very nice and very spammable, and they move fast because of the Raider. Now, where should I put it? It's not that high. Maybe I'd rather play with the Paradis Assalto, but it's close. Maybe this is actually better. Yeah. Then we have the LW Pioneer. I think this is just disheartened Pioneer from 16th Luftwaffe. I I think I have played the division like maybe twice, so I cannot really remember, but it is nothing special. The disheartened doesn't matter that much, so it's probably better than a regular Pioneer, but it's not good. I think it has the same availability though, so no special availability like this guy. Then we have this Paradis Assalto again. This guy's in the 4th Fallschirmjäger, so yeah, we can just place it next to it. It's the same unit. Except this guy has a Panzerfaust and this guy has an AT grenade. Then we have the new unit from Wessex, Desant Sturmowi, the Polish paratroopers. This guy has Bren, rifles, Sten, and a flamethrower. Raider, 25 points. Good availability, or wet curve, but only in C phase. So, yeah, that's kind of painful. In C phase, yeah, it's not that useful in C phase. In C phase, you can pretty much just spam anything and you'll make some progress, but it's not a bad unit. Don't get me wrong, but this having only it in C phase hurts quite a bit. But those few times I have been able to use it, it has performed pretty well. So yeah. I'm gonna say high B tier. Then we have the Jääkäri, so the standard unit of the Finns. These guys have 3 Suomis and then SVTs, Molotovs, and the Panzerfaust. Now, it is good. It also has the shock. For 20 points, it's pretty cheap. But the thing is that it used to be like some kind of unstoppable CQC force. And it still kind of is if you can spam them around. But if we look at this list, there is actually way better CQC units. So yeah. Well, not that many way better ones, but I'm just saying that it's not as strong as it used to be. 3 Suomis is good, but we have units which have, like this guy has 12 Berettas and stuff like that. And this guy has 7 Suomis, so 3 Suomis is kind of... It is still a tier unit because of the availability, and you can spam them, and the Panzerfaust makes them decently flexible, but yeah. A tier. We have the LW Stern Pioneer, so chunky flamethrower squad, but they have a disheartened trait. Now, I know you are supposed to get rid of the disheartened trait by using your leaders and the military police, but and sure, you can pull it off for a moment in the game, but as the game progresses, at some point it won't work anymore, and then you are stuck with the flamer who has the disheartened, and that is kind of painful. Which is why it's a C tier unit. Then we have the Hatarva Dash. Bunch of rifles, bunch of SMGs, and flamethrower. For 25 points, it's quite good. Because it's so chunky. It's can take a lot of damage, which is having too few men is a big issue with the CQC squads. For example, the regular Stern Pioneers. So yeah, I think these guys have the shock as well, which is very important. High-ish B tier. Could see it even further maybe. Then we have the SS Legionary from 17th SS. Now these guys are 20 points for Berettas and for automatic rifle, semi-automatic rifles and the Molotovs and Fanatical, but no shock. So yeah, another unit which used to be super good at CQC, but now it's kind of mid-tier CQC unit. Not bad for 20 points, but nothing special. They also have the Panzerfaust. So in a way, they are similar to Jääkäri, but the lack of shock trait hurts quite a bit. Yeah. Maybe B tier, but it could be lower too. 20 points is cheap, so you can spam them. Then we have the Morskaya Avto, 25 points, armed with the Thompsons, 12 Thompsons, and 80 grenade. So these guys put out a lot of damage. One of the better SMGs in the game, so this is like an upgraded Avto. You have a good wet curve as well. No Raider, that would be like the sealing the deal for this guy, but it does do a lot of damage. Better than the Jääkäri? Maybe. Yeah, A tier. Then we have the Kriegsmarine Jagd Pioneer. These are in the Dunkirk as well. Flamethrower, few SMGs, bunch of rifles. Only 20 points, so it is nice. So while the firepower is worse than regular Stern Pioneers, you are a bit more chunky, so I think that kind of makes up for it. Especially since these guys are now 25 points. Still B tier. Kazaki PPSH. These guys are now 20 points with, I think it's 12 men. or is it 11, maybe 12, and they have 11 PP shots and a DP now, and Raider and an 18-8. The DP is it would be better without the DP, but it actually doesn't matter that much. For 20 points, it's kind of crazy actually. It's synergizes so well with the division, and they move so fast, and you can spam them, and they have great wet curve. It's it's very hard to deal with this unit actually, because you can just infiltrate everything with these. If there's a forest, you can just push into it, and yeah, and you can just take them always at double wet. So yeah, they don't take much suppression, so you can defeat a lot of enemy units pretty easily. So yeah, it's high A tier. Then we have the Yurish Nishi from NOV. This is one of the better CQC units in it. Molotov unit, rifles and Bredas, similar to the SS Legionary, but these guys have Raider, which is nice. But yeah, otherwise it is very similar, very spammable. So I'm gonna put it next to it. Could see it maybe a bit higher as well. Then we have the Inzinierzi from Panzerna as well. Another unit I'm having a bit hard time remembering, but I think it's pretty beefy unit. Maybe they have a Bren, or maybe they have a Piat. I cannot remember. But at least they have flamethrower, a bunch of rifles, and a few SMGs. And then they have either a Bren or a Piat. Or both. I can't remember. It is good unit though. Good CQC unit. I'm gonna put it here since I don't remember the unit that well. Then we have the Legion Sub Pioneers. Double flamethrower unit from DFL. Rifles and SMGs otherwise. 35 points is very expensive for it though. It is fanatical, so it won't surrender, and that helps quite a lot. It should be 30 points. The Shumaviki rocks are better than this guy. And they are 30 points. So that is very much a letdown. It's not bad, but it's overpriced, which is why. Better than the Greeks, but yeah. Then we have the Pioneerit PPS. Again, 7th AST has this guy. This is like a sub. Is it Saperi PPSH? So foreman team, you use it to rush with the jeeps. This guy has the SMGs and the TNT instead of the Panzerfaust. So it is a good suicide squad. The 4 PP shots is very decent, so the damage output is actually pretty similar to the Stormtroopers, I believe. Maybe an inch less, but it's also cheaper. So yeah, I like it. I like it quite a bit better than the Stormtroopers actually. Since you can fight them with them, but it's mostly an ambush unit, similar to the Stormtrooper, but these come in faster transports, so they can be really pesky to deal with. I'm gonna say B tier. Somewhere in B tier, but maybe they could be higher as well. Then we have the Commando number 4, the Demo Squad. Yeah. So it's a Commando for 30 points. What do you get? You get Thompsons, you get rifles, and you get TNT, and you get the flamethrower. So it's the super deadly combo again. The pretty much unbeatable combo. This time with Commando. Less men though. So yeah. It is S tier unit, easy S tier. Now, I don't think I have ever had this engagement where these guys fight. The commando does help a lot, but I have a feeling that the 11 men of the Pionieri would prevail against this guy. But I'm a bit unsure. But I'm gonna say that's the case. So yeah, second best CQC unit in the game, whilst the Pionieri are the best. Then we have the Gornostrelki. I decided to put this guy also in here since I think it gives a good idea about the other units as well when we have this more of a hybrid line infantry unit. And this guy has 6 Pipishas, so it is kind of more suited towards Green Forest fights. Now only 20 points. Raider, they also have the DT and a few SVTs and AT grenade. It is good. I will be rating it here in terms of more about the CQC, but I will also take into account the flexibility of it, which is why it's a solid B tier unit. It's very spammable though, so yeah, kind of annoying to deal with. Oh, there's quite a few to go still. I thought there won't be that many, but there is actually a lot. Okay, this will be a long one. Then we have the Krupa Sachisti from 358. They have Suomis, SVTs, AVT, and Flamethrower. 25 points. Yeah. It is good. Another one of those which used to be super good, but nowadays not as good. Still puts out a lot of damage, but what I'm trying to say that there is a lot of good CQC units in the game still, or now. But still it is easily A tier unit. Maybe here, maybe better than the Yakari. Then we have the Jaegers, MG42 and bunch of MP40s and I think 2 or 3 rifles. I said the same during the line infantry video, but I think it's garbage. Even also in CQC, it's garbage. I would much rather have a lot of these units. Now the MG42 does give some flexibility and it's very spammable, but it's not a good unit. C tier. Legionaries from DFL, double BAR rifles, SMGs, TNT, fanatical, 35 points. Now, it is super flexible, so I'm gonna have to put it in A tier. It is expensive though, so and it will have trouble contesting many of these units, but the flexibility is so nice and the fanatical helps in the forest as well. Then we have the Reitjäger. This is just worse than the Jaeger. No MG rifles, MP40s, Panzerfaust. Shock, I think, but even the shock doesn't save it. Garbage. The Pioneers will tear this guy apart. Ratsu Pioneer. Ratsu Pioneer. So yeah, 25 points, 3 Suomis and rifles and TNT. This unit should not be 25 points. It's way too expensive for 25 points. It's similar to the Guastatori, and I think the Guastatori shouldn't be 25 points either. It's not worth it, like at all. Yeah, D tier. Strelki DT from Fedjunkina, double DT, SVTs, PPSHAs, Molotovs. Hybrid unit, it is decent. I don't know if they have shock. I hope they have, otherwise they are not that good. I'm gonna assume they have shock, so B tier. Then we have Jaeger Pioneer, now 25 points. So you have G43s, MG42, and then you have the TNT. It's pretty much a standard Pioneer, just inch better firepower, but not much. Then we have the Pioneers Montagnard. This is again one of those just rifles and TNT. This time with Raider, so that is nice, but doesn't help a lot. I really don't think you should play these units. Well, in Task Force 45 you have to, but in Dodi you don't. Guastatori Para. I think it's the same unit as the Guastatori. So few Berettas and rifles and TNT. This guy has Raider. This guy may not have a Raider, so yeah, it is better, but not much. With the Raider, it's better than the Jaeger, though. Hikiva Dash. We talked about the Shekel, which is absolute garbage. So this guy is the same, but with Raider and no disheartened. Or pretty much the same. Not completely same, but pretty much the same. It's all right. It's very spammable, so that's the main advantage of it. But the CQC firepower is questionable at best. Worse than the Some Poisid, but better than the Stern Pioneers. Decima. This guy has the MG42 instead of the Bredas. Single MG42. So it is kind of matter of taste. I personally prefer the Arditi since all the guns can fire in the forest, but yeah. Sappers. TNT unit, again with a poor loadout, but this guy carries a bazooka. And that changes the whole thing. Bazookas are super valuable. So that immediately puts them quite high. I'm gonna place them all the way up here. Then we have the Fallschirm Pioneers. So standard Pioneer, but you get a few more men and you get the Raider. And from my experience, the Raider with this type of unit helps quite a bit. It makes it just way more flexible, and you can dodge the enemy grenades if you are fast enough, and um, it's way easier to use this guy as your line inf supporter than this guy. Maybe that's just some kind of weird bias, but so yeah, still nothing super special beat here over the other Pioneers. Very good unit in, for example, third Fallschirmjäger, since your A-phase infantry is very expensive, so you can use this to supplement the expensive ones. Then you have the Pionieri, 15 men, only rifles, and these guys throw that little bomb. You very seldom see these guys used, so kind of hard to judge. But if I remember correctly, the little bomb is nothing that special, so see it here. Gruby Shturmovi from Armia Krajova. TNT unit with bunch of SMGs. It is good, and it has shock. It can do quite a bit of damage. Some of the SMGs are pretty poor, but otherwise pretty decent for 20 points. Then we have the Forcemen. These guys are the ones with the Johnson rifles, TNT, M1 Garants, and Thompsons. The Canadian Special Forces. It's excellent again. Same as with the line infantry, the commando makes it super flexible, and it's something I cannot really ignore, even when talking about CQC units. So, yeah, it is a high A tier unit. The flexibility is so good, though. Yeah, it's an S tier unit. Yeah, has to be. Then we have the field engineers, which I have been talking already quite a bit. No, basically a suicide squad. Their only purpose is throw their TNT once. Well, you can also rush some other positions, but I don't. I don't like these. I hate, like, some people like them and spam them, but I don't like them at all. You lose if your opponent micros their flame units. You lose always. Even if you do the ground attack trick, the flamethrower can just move forward and it won't work. Still only 15 points, so it's better than some of these, but both of them garbage. Engineers, the American standard CQC unit. TNT, I think 2 Thompsons and then M1 Garans. So it's all right. But 25 points is pretty expensive for it, in my opinion. So since you don't have a machine gun like this guy, yeah, I think actually the CQC firepower is better, but I prefer this somewhat hybrid unit over this guy. Yeah, low beat here. Fallschirmsturm Pioneer, now 25 points. It's the same nowadays than the regular Sturm Pioneer. They have Raider, so inch better, but not much. Fallschirmstoßtrupp, however, from first Fallschirmjäger Raider, I think they have Bren, they have FG42, then they have maybe a few SMGs. So it does a lot of damage. I think it has maybe double Bren, or maybe it's double FG42 and one Bren, but it is a lot of damage these guys can do. Great unit for 25 points. Good at rushing, but also does a lot of damage with the Molotovs. Once the enemy has to move, this guy tears them apart. Now, of course, 6 men only, so that's a bit of a bummer, but yeah, A tier. Sapeurs Montagnard. So this is kind of like a standard flamethrower unit of the Dodi. I prefer the Partigiani over this. This guy has SMGs and rifles and Raider and the flamethrower, but it's nothing special. Matter of taste, but I like this better. I think it's more flexible than this guy. But it is good. I'm gonna put it next to the Desanstumovi. I think that's reasonable. And I will put these over the Rangers. Then we have the Gebirgs Pioneers. Raider Pioneer, and these guys also have their jerry can bomb. So pretty similar to this, bit of a different loadout, and you have worse, less men but better loadout otherwise, I think. So B tier seems like a good spot. Then we have the SS Fallschirmjäger. TNT, MG34s, Fanatical. Yeah, it is very much 12 men. It is a good unit, but it's not that special compared to many of these units. But I guess it's going to have to go to pretty high, since it is just super flexible. Then we have the Kriegsmarine Pioneer TNT unit with Panzerschreck. Again, the Panzerschreck make this good. Otherwise, the loadout is nothing exciting. So next to the Sapeurs are better. More men, better loadout, and also these guys can come in half tracks. Maro, pretty much the same as the Paradia Salto, but these guys only 25 points and don't have the Raider. I'm gonna put it next to it. It kind of depends which one you prefer. The Raider is actually super nice, so the 5 points is not as bad as it might look like. Gebirgssturm Pioneers from 5th Gebirgsjäger. So yeah, these have MP40s and they have few Berettas as well, and they are not 25 points like the regular Stern Pioneers are now. So there's a straight up better. Now they are not that great, but still straight upgrade is always nice. Perhaps better than the Yurishnichi and the SS Legionary. Magizards. The spammy Molotov unit also has an automatic rifle. The main advantage of these guys, again, is the spammability, and for 20 points, they are pretty reasonable priced. In terms of CQC firepower, it's not that special, but yeah. Better than the Yurishnichi, though. I'm gonna leave it them to beat here, but they could be maybe higher as well. It is chunky. Then we have the 15-point Molotov throwers from DPSAS. I have tried to use these, but I think, and I discussed this with Koenig as well, I think it's just better to spam the Magisards. I don't think this is a good unit. Similar to this guy, the loadout is super poor, and of course you have more men, but yeah, see it here. Edgy Pass Salt from 9th Infantry. Probably the one of the rarest CQC units, since nobody plays that division. I don't know when I have last seen it being played or seen this unit anywhere. This guy has TNT, double ZB automatic rifle. Then they have a lot of, well, maybe 4 SMGs or something like that, and then rifles. And 14 men is a lot of men, so it is a good unit. If 14th Infantry had like 2 cards of this, I think it would be way better. But yeah, and this does have a great availability as well. So yeah, it is a great TNT unit, but it cannot carry the division alone. Maybe better than just Stumoviki, but maybe better than the Deshima as well. Let's put it here. Ersatz Pioneer. Again, these just have better availability. Maybe this guy actually has MG42, but that doesn't matter that much. So yeah, let's put it next to the 15W. Demolition Group. C-Phase unit. This guy carries flamethrower and bazooka, and then otherwise, I think grease guns and maybe M1 Garand. It is a good unit. It used to be 35 points, which was way too much. But now it's pretty good. TNT and bazooka is for 30 points is very reasonable. I think the availability is pretty poor though, so yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. But I'm gonna put it high beat here. Desantniki from 3rd VDD. 8 men, PB Shah's Raider, and an 18-8, only 15 points. And you get a great availability and great wet curve. It's so spammable. If you get the right play in the right map, it's you can just spam them everywhere. With the smoke off map, it's actually very hard to deal with these guys when they get everywhere, and suddenly the AD grenades are actually doing a lot of damage. It's kind of hard to pass with only 15 points. I think it's an A tier unit. The spammability is kinda insane when you get it going. It is also a pretty weak unit in some cases, so just be aware. But yeah. Tartale Karkashok. 15 points, 13 men. They don't have a machine gun. So they just are there to throw TNT, and they can take some punishment. And they have good availability as well. These are in first Panzeros. it is good. Mm, one of the better cheap TNT throwers for sure. Still B tier. Then we have Ski Jäger Pioneer. This is good. I think these guys have a bunch of MP40s, and then they have machine gun as well. But they have way more damage than a regular Pioneer. So yeah, still nothing like super phenomenal, but yeah, solid beat here. Desan Cholgovi, this is just Tanko Desaniki. We don't have Tankos here, so this is the standard unit we'll be using. Tankos are super good, and they are super commonly found, but they are just excellent. I think Tankos are one of the, considering how common they are super good. Better than the Yakari in my opinion. A tier, often in half track as well. All right, there's still a few to go. Then we have the Dechinuchi from Munte. 15 men, only rifles and Molotov. It's a kind of funny unit to use. You can just spam them, and they can take some punishment. But is it good? No. Um, you take it for the Molotov, and yeah, C tier, better than the Stormtroopers still, but can't say they are really a good unit. Commando number 4, Assault. Another CQC unit in SSB. These guys have Willy Pete, and then they have otherwise decent semi-auto and SMG loadout. With the Commando, that automatically puts them pretty high. 7 men only, so they are a bit flimsy, but still, it is an A tier unit. Maybe here. And maybe the Yakari is too high. No, this is... Let's put it here. Then we have the Morskaya Sturm. Double flamethrower unit with MP40s. And the MP40s got buffed, so this unit got even stronger than it was. It does a lot of damage. Now it's only 6 men, so that means it can die pretty easily, but double flamethrower puts out so much damage that it is an A tier unit. Then we have the Ochotnichi from Craiova. 15 men, Molotovs, automatic rifle, otherwise pretty poor loadout. 25 points and no shock. I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. I know they are chunky, so you can take a lot of punishment, but I think the damage is pretty poor. B tier unit. Yeah. Here. Zeniste from CIABG. I think these have surprisingly a lot of SMGs, and then they have the flamethrower and the rifles, and maybe a Bren. It's a good unit. CIABG doesn't have much CQC, but this unit helps them a lot. So yeah. This seems like a good spot. B tier. Kosaken Pioneer. Another 15-point TNT unit. It's good. It has decent loadout. 8 men is decent as well. Very spammable, but yeah. Better than regular Pioneer, but nothing that special again. SS Right Pioneer from 1st Panzer Los. Double flamethrower unit. I think they have maybe 4 MP40s and then they have rifles. It's great. Again, double flamethrower is just super, super good. Is it better than the Saperi Rocks? Maybe not. But it is better than the Morskaya Sturm. Yeah. A tier. Vanatori Munte Pioneer Assault. So this is kind of like Sturm Pioneer, but they have that weird SMG, and then they have flamethrower. It is good. For only 20 points, it can do a lot of damage, but yeah. Maybe here, still 5 men only, so it dies quite easily. And then this Pioneer unit as well. This is basically like the Fallschirm Pioneer. Maybe a different SMG or a better SMG, but still. And he has a good availability, if I remember correctly, but yeah. Hermann Göring Pioneer. These guys have a bunch of MP44s, but otherwise, very expensive for a TNT unit. It is flexible though, but I cannot rate it that highly. I think these guys are better. Still, it's pretty expensive. Arkashok. So standard TNT unit, 13 men, which means it is better than these. No, actually, it's not. The Ratsu Pioneer is here as well. Oh, but that's 25 points. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, 13 men, so you can take a TNT to the face. But is it good? No. C tier. Brandenburger Pioneer. Commando flamethrower with double flamethrower with MP40s. So yeah, it is a beast of an unit. It's crazy good. It's even better than the Stumoviki Rocks because of the commando. And now that I look at it, the SS Right Pioneer should be here as well, since this guy is a single flamethrower unit. So yeah, like this. And here, probably third best CQC unit in the game. Begleittruppen from what is Tettau. Arrives in sea phase, you have Bren, you have Stens, you have Molotovs. The main use is just to spam them and overrun whatever CQC your enemy has left. It is good at that, but the CQC value is nothing super exciting. B tier unit. Let's put it here. Chocks from DFL. Billy Pete, Bren, Commando, SMGs, maybe M1 carbines as well. Because of the Commando, it is pretty tanky, so that pushes it quite far in this list. The Commando helps it a lot. And 10 men is decent, of course. A tier. Pretty high A tier as well. Yeah, it's better than the Yakari. Yeah, it's better than the Tango Desaniki. Yeah, here. Then we have the Brandenburger. Again, more of a long-range unit, but it does have the TNT and it does have 4 MP40s, so yeah, it is good. I'm gonna rate this. I'm gonna have to put it in S tier. It is so flexible, and since with this unit you can face many of these and win if you micro it well. So yeah, it is just super good. Pioneers. This is the Blinde Flame unit. SMGs, M1 carbines, and flamethrower. It is good. Uh, Unfortunately for it, the Blinde infantry DAP is very small, so it can be hard to take it always. But it is good unit. But then again, it's pretty similar to a regular Stern Pioneer, so I guess it's not that good after all. It, yeah, maybe here since it's cheaper nowadays. Third Pioneers, another one of those only rifles and a TNT. D tier assault team from first US. Double BAR, M1 Garand, maybe an SMG as well. And flamethrower, of course. 35 points, but it's extremely chunky. It's very hard to deal with this squad at any range. Easy A tier squad for me, because the veterancy curve is super good as well. A tier, maybe it should be even higher. Maybe here. Backlight Pioneer. MP44s again, and TNT and MG42. As a CQC unit, it's kind of expensive. Similar to the Hermann Göring Pioneer, but more men. So, yeah. Maybe here. Assault engineers. These guys are the ones in at least guards armored. They carry Piat, one Bren, flamethrower, 30 points. Their CQC value is kind of questionable since it's mostly rifles, or it might be actually only rifles plus the Bren. So it is very flexible, but it kind of hurts to use a 30-point unit against like a 20-point unit, and then you still lose because the suppression builds so fast. So yeah, but because of the flexibility of the Piat, it will go to the B tier. Then we have the Avtomachiki. This is again from the Estonian one, but it's Avto. So 10 PP shots and AD grenade. I'm a big fan of Avtos, but they do require the micro when you are playing against the TNT units. So yeah, I probably cannot put this super highly. I'm gonna put it next to the Saperi. Stostrup. And before these, PP Shahs and Molotovs, it's good. We have discussed this. I think this version is better than the MP44 one, especially now that they have the availability buff. But yeah, nothing that special. So B tier. Assault engineers. These guys are the ones in the 7th armored. So these guys are the same as the ones we ranked already, but they are 5 points more and they have double Bren. So this is even more hybrid than the first one. And it's also as the battle weary, which I think is pretty awful. I don't like the battle weary trait at all. I think the units get pinned so fast. And with flame units, it does matter quite a lot. But again, it does have the Piat. But 35 points. It's the IR. This is too high as well. Yeah, I don't like these units. I think the Engineers is better probably. I think it has better loadout. The Zeniste is certainly better because it has the Thompsons. B tier. Avtostrafniki for the 3rd reserve. It's like Avtos, but 5 more men, and it's fanatical. So yeah, straight upgrade. 15 SMGs. does do a lot of work. So it is an A tier unit. Not super commonly seen, but I think this guy could shred a lot of these units if we were to test it out. Now it's also at 30 points. I will put it next to the Maro. Pretty similar to that one. Then we have Sapeurs. I think this is the same we ranked. Maybe it has a little bit different loadout, but honestly, I think it's the same. This one is in Dodi and the other one is in Blinde. They have different pictures, but where is my Sapeurs? There they are. Yeah, we can put it here. Syöksypioneeri. Double flamethrower for 20 points. 3 Suomis. Shock. Yeah, it's good. But it's only 5 men. It's like... Since you almost always take little damage when you go against other CQC units, it's very painful. And these guys don't have the smoke grenade too. If you push inch too far, you might be dead. Now it is good for 20 points. It will melt a lot of them, but yeah. I have a hard time placing this for, higher than B tier. It's so flimsy. I mean, I did put the Morska Sturm here though. So yeah, maybe. This is hard. Maybe it belongs somewhere in here, and because the double flamethrower is super strong still, but that just doesn't feel good using this unit. Okay, yeah, let's just say it's a tier unit, but yeah, the 5 men really sucks. Morskaya Saperi. I think these guys have up to maybe 6 SMGs, or maybe it's only 4. Then they have rifles and they have TNT. Only 20 points though. So, and it's chunky. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. I would maybe prefer the Saperi though, due to the flexibility of the Saperi. So, yeah, B tier, but it is close, as is all of these. Assault Pioneers, Flamethrower, and few SMGs. Or is it maybe even they have some rifles? But garbage, 4 men only. Yeah, you will die so quickly. Maybe here. Ooh, it feels bad using that unit. Assault group. Probably the worst SMG unit in the game. Because it has the grease guns mostly. So yeah, the smoke is nice, but the damage is so low. I don't know. I cannot rate anything. I mean, these guys at least have the TNT, so yeah, I maybe should use this. I might be wrong about this, but I think it's D tier. AB engineers. In 101st, they have flamethrower, SMGs, and 1 Garand. It's pretty expensive though, for 30 points. Yeah, it's chunky, but kind of feels expensive since the loadout is not that good. It is better than Stern Pioneers, but it loses to many other CQC units, which is cheaper than this guy. So yeah. Yeah, for example, the Zenith feels much better, and the Hadarva Dash. So yeah, B tier. Assault Breacher from first US. few SMGs, M1 Garands, TNT, maybe a smoke as well, shock. It's all right. Again, 30 points. Or has this been changed to 25? Probably not. I think it is 30 points. So it is very expensive. So I cannot write this that highly. B tier. RDT, Double Bren, Fanatical, 30 points. TNT, few rifles as well. Few, maybe one SMG, maybe two SMGs. More of a hybrid unit again. The Fanatical is nice, so that's good, but for 30 points again, it's pretty expensive. So I'm gonna put it next to the Assault Breacher. This is better, but yeah. And the last one, finally, is the AB Canadian Paras. So in 6th Airborne, these guys carry Willy Pete, and then otherwise they have pretty standard loadout of Stens and rifles and one Bren. It's good for 25 points. It's a decent Molotov thrower, quite flexible as well. Raider also makes it quite nice, so I think it's better than Makizarets. Maybe, yeah. Let's put it next to the Oxen Bucks. Feels nice that way. It's better than the AB Engineers. Easily. So yeah. Okay, finally, that should be all CQC units in Steel Division 2 rated on this tier list. Now, there were way more than I thought there will be, so I'm sorry that their video took so long. And yeah, I think I'm looking at it now, and there may be some odd calls, but yeah. I'm gonna lower this guy a bit. Yeah, it's double flamer, but the 6 men only really hurts. Really hurts. And also the Forceman, this Forceman is better than the Iskuryhmä. And probably I would rate the Brandenburger also better than this Iskuryhmä as well, since it's so flexible. But yeah, I'm mostly focusing on the CQC firepower, which is why we can see the double flamethrower units in the top row. All these guys are the special units, of course, and then we have here we have more of a mixed bag. Some of them are a bit unsure, like this Greek flame unit, and I could see the Fallschirmsturmtrupp actually higher as well. Yeah, but in general, I'm gonna leave it at that. I think a lot of this depends also on how much you value flexibility, how much you value TNT over flames or over SMGs. I personally like a lot, like the SMG units a lot, and but I'm also fine with TNT and flame units are of course kinda probably the easiest to use. So yeah, so that depends a lot. And also I must say that I value the Raider and Commando and the shock rate trait in this case pretty highly. So yeah. Again, this is based on my opinion, and as we have so many units here, I must have misplaced some of them. So yeah, let me know where I'm wrong, or what do you think are the best CQC units. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and see you next time.